Welcome to the Torahbirthing podcast. Hey, my name is Batya Khan. I'm a Rebbetzin, Geulah, and childbirth educator. My mission is to help women have the best transition into motherhood that you could possibly wish for, so you could fulfill your tafkid with support and recognize the power that you have. The Torah is the guidebook for our lives. It's the best mindset work that you could possibly do. Are you familiar with it? It's important to know. It's important to learn. So let's do this. Hey everyone, it's Parshas Bo, and this week we're finally going out of Mitzrayim. We have all the miracles and all the magic that's been piling up over the last few parshios, and this is where real life begins. So here's the thing. Galus is exactly like a fetus. It takes 9 months. Sometimes those 9 months feel like forever. That's the translation of 9 months, forever. It takes 9 months for the baby to develop. The fetus is just sitting there and developing that whole time. It's got its head between its legs, all crunched up. In the last few months of pregnancy, the fetus has all of its parts. It has a beating heart, it has a brain, it has arms and legs, it has a head, lungs, kidneys, and the whole situation, the whole body. But it eats, gets its sustenance, and breathes from its belly button. This baby has eyes, but it can't see. It has ears, but it can't hear. It has lungs, but it can't breathe. All of that is just potential. This baby is still a ball of potential. It's amazing stuff waiting to be actualized. It's alive, but the Neshama is not there yet. And the baby is sitting there waiting for its time to get squeezed and sent out into the world. Sometimes labor has a few false starts, as they call it, but they're not really false starts. Sometimes there are contractions going on for hours and hours, and then they stop. These contractions are really, really and truly not false labor. Every contraction is part of the plan. Every one of them is getting us closer and closer to the goal. I say this all the time. It's not just Braxton hicks. They're so annoying. Like, what's the point? It's not a fake start. It's not fake labor and real labor. If labor started, then it stopped. It's not fake and real. It's the whole thing is bringing on the opening process of the portal where the Neshama is coming through. And every drop of it is necessary, however it happens. This baby's story is being written. And the mother has an important job the whole time. She is solely responsible for this baby's development. The baby is mostly potential at this point. But everything that happens during the pregnancy has a major effect on the baby's life. Scientifically, they say that a mother's emotions, just like everything she eats and does physically, affects the baby. The baby is only going to be born with whatever it had developing in pregnancy. This is why pregnancy is so important. Whatever the mother ate is directly linked to the baby. The mother's sleep, the mother's thoughts, and the mother's emotions. It's scary and it's powerful. You are connected and could make extra connection with your baby before he's even born. It's so special to spend time with your baby, and you don't have to wait until they're born. Spiritually, we have an effect too on the baby's neshama. That's why women are more careful and they try to add in ruchnius during pregnancy too. Pregnancy is such an important time, but the baby's not alive on a soul level just yet. The body is living, in a sense, but the neshama has not come in yet. When labor keeps picking up and going at its own pace that we can't put on a clock. Yes, there's a due date, but so many babies go past that. The mother's job now is to get out of the way. She actually has the hardest job ever. To do absolutely nothing, but let Hashem do the work through her. It's really, really hard. Really challenging. Really difficult. I teach this in my birth course. Our job during labor is removing our fake selves from the picture and revealing our real selves, which is the fact that Hashem is using us as a portal to bring this neshama down into this world. And the baby is squeezed and makes its cardinal movements. It twists and it turns and it extends into the world. And then the potential opens up. Finally, the parts that were closed up open, and the parts that were open close up. The baby is able to breathe and eat and hear, and it no longer needs its belly button to feed him. It's just there as a reminder. Everything that the mother worked so hard for all pregnancy is realized. And a gorgeous child is here. Galus is a normal pregnancy, as I said. Everything in the world is just sitting in potential. It's exactly how the world is supposed to be. It's real life, except that everything is so backwards. What's supposed to be open is closed, and what's supposed to be closed is open. I was talking to someone recently about the hate against our nation. And I'm sure this is a familiar conversation for so many of us. She was saying, I don't understand what we did to deserve all this hate. And it's a really good question. Why do people have their heads stuck between their legs? Why can't they see? Why can't they hear? Why can't they just breathe? Why can't they just be? It really sucks, and it's so hard to understand. How is this happening? It's a pregnancy. Simple as that, but so difficult to deal with. And it doesn't end there. Sometimes we also have our heads down with our eyes and our ears closed. Our lives are upside down, and sometimes we're just going through the motions. We're living in potential mode. All the tools are around, but are we using them? And here's the thing. It's really mostly about little things. Nothing huge. Could be about huge things, but mostly there's little things we're doing all day. How can I bring more life into my day? And even more than the small things, what am I embodying? Who am I? Am I alive on a soul level? Or is that just potential? As women, we know that in order for labor to start and happen as smoothly as possible, relaxation is important. To save your energy, to get out of our own way and let Hashem be in charge. But what are we doing? Are we doing it backwards? Are we actually doing everything through our belly button? We're sitting here and growing and gaining more and more potential. Sometimes, some days, we feel like we're going forward, and that's beautiful. I have a good day. I work on my relationship with my husband. I am successful in parenting my kids. And in general, I feel connected and in tune with who I am. I can just feel how Hashem is working through me and in my life. Other days, it feels like I went 2 steps backwards. Sometimes I don't do so well in those areas. Everything just feels like a mess, and the world feels so hopeless and endless and dark. Labor was starting, but then it just stopped. Here's what we should remember. There is no such a thing as false labor. Everything we do, every part of labor, the unique design every time, it's part of the whole process. So every little thing you do, every bit you embody is having an effect. Even if today wasn't a great day, even if it feels like there's no end, remember, the baby is there, still there. You are developing the baby. Not that this is completely equally comparable, but what we eat during pregnancy matters. It has a direct effect on the baby. If you live on chocolate one day of your pregnancy, does that mean that tomorrow you can't choose something more wholesome? Can't eat a proper filling meal with lots of protein? What we are doing, what you are doing, the connections to Hashem you are making, the light you are bringing to the world, just by being who you really are, is having a colossal cosmic effect. Even if you don't feel it, even if it's hard, but you're still doing it. Some days are harder, some days are easier. But this is the development of our nation. Labor is not an easy process. It's not a small thing, and it's not pointless. Just like the Galus in Mitzrayim. It was such horrible pain, years and years of terrible suffering. And then Moshe came, and he told the Jews, Pakod Pakadati, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the messenger. Hashem is going to work through me to free you all. And he went to tell Paro to let the Jews go. And there was so much hope in the nation. And he did all these signs in front of Paro. And Paro laughed. And he said, you guys are bored. You're lazy. Let's make you all collect more straw. And the situation went from bad to worse. And then the Makos came eventually. And they were finally moving out. They were finally moving forward. With every Makkah, Paro kept refusing to let them go. It was 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. But it's a development of the potential. It's not linear. Labor is not linear. And finally, the potential made the full force labor break through, and the birth, the Geulah, finally happened. And a major player of that was the women. The men have a part in this too, but we have something special as women. We know this labor process inside and out. And the women who didn't doubt it, and because they didn't doubt it, they were ready in Mitzrayim. They were prepared. We are those Jewish women from Mitzrayim. This is hard. It's so hard. This pregnancy, it feels like it's never going to end. What you do, though, matters. We're doing the hard work of labor to get rid of our fake selves and reveal our true selves. Because the real you is a great mother. The real you is a great person. The real you is completely connected to Hashem. It's an unbreakable bond. You are just working to realize it. We are all just working to realize it. You working hard to become an even better wife, an even better mother, an even better person, and working harder on our connection to Hashem. Each thing you do is massive. It's peeling the layers and revealing the true you. And the hardest work is just being, not doing anything. When we embody our connection to Hashem, that's when all the good things start happening. That's your own personal Geulah. Don't give up. You can bring your own personal Geulah, even if it's just in little pockets. we work more and more to bring more pockets. It's bringing the collective Geulah too when you bring your personal Geulah. So let's push forward through this birth process, just like they did in Mitzrayim. So hard, because every pregnancy has an end. And usually I say there's no such a thing as an overdue baby. It's not good to induce just because of an arbitrary date. But here's the exception. This pregnancy is seriously overdue. It's been enough already. Hashem, what is going on? B'schus Hashem tzidkanios, nigalu avoseinu miMitzrayim, u'b'schusan asidim lihigal. In the merit of righteous Jewish women, our forefathers were redeemed from Mitzrayim. And in the merit of Jewish women, we will be redeemed in the future. It should be now.
I would love to hear what you think. Message me on Instagram @Torahbirthing or send me an email, torahbirthing@gmail.com.